What's going on, everybody? This is Abby here with Modern Day Unicorns. Another episode. I almost said good morning because it's 7:06 a.m. where I am, and I woke up early in the morning. So you have to forgive my morning voice this morning, but it's been my honor and my privilege to hop on the phone with another friend of mine. Her name is Megan. We went to college together at, well, I got the shirt on today, Johnson and Wales University in Charlotte, North Carolina, and she's doing some amazing things. And I wanted to have the opportunity to catch up with her, with you all listening, and see what she's been up to and how we can get more involved in everything that she's got going on. Megan, welcome.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, let's get right into it. Can you please, tell us about yourself, where you're from, and then I'll ask you what you're doing currently, but then we're going to go through the journey on how you got there today.
Okay. My name is Megan. I am from Durham, North Carolina, Bull City. Stand up. That's the thing. Yeah.
That's what's up. All right. So what do you do? Yeah, Bull City is a whole situation. Like
Yeah.
going to school in North Carolina with people from certain areas of North Carolina. Yeah, there was a lot of y'all there, but it's okay. No hate. Y'all some decent people. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So what are you doing with your life present day?
Present day. Okay. Let's get the rundown. I am a PE teacher. I'm a track and field coach at the high school that I teach PE at. I am a massage therapist. I own my own massage therapy business. And I sort of kind of sell clothes on the side too. And I'm a mom.
Okay.
I think that's the most important job.
Listen, your daughter has grown up in front of my very eyes, and I'm just like, how?
Right.
How? Okay, so I love it. You've set us up for a great conversation because you do what people would say so many things, but you're finding a way to manage them all. And so I'm excited to hear about every single one. But first, let me take it back to where we met each other. We met each other in college.
Right.
And I kind of want to transition to, I don't think you went to school for any of that.
I did not. I don't even have my degree hanging up. That expensive school, JWU, as they like to call it. It was just a time away from home, to say the least.
I feel you on that. I feel you, and we'll bring that back full circle. Can you tell us what you did go and attend Johnson Wales University for?
I attended for sports management. So my thought or idea was to work with the sporting team after I graduated. Hopefully, the Panthers. That was the idea, and it just kind of stayed there in Charlotte. In Charlotte, it never happened. Well, technically, I did work at the Bank of America Stadium for game days, but I was selling beer. It's not really what I had in mind. So
I was selling brisket.
yeah, so really wasn't what I was looking for, but yeah.
I feel you. So we were on a similar path. You did the management portion. I did the sports entertainment and event management. So I kind of got skewed into facilities a little bit more than the management side. But what I want to bring out of that is that we went to school, and school helped us to at least be around the environment because Charlotte is still an up and coming city, and gave us some relatively decent connections and built up our ability to communicate. But we transitioned. So you finished school. Now I know you've always been involved in track because you're a runner yourself. But like, what after college? What kind of path did you take?
So graduated college, right? And I was kind of that senior year, like figuring out what I want to do. So we even go back, like running was something that I really wanted to do. And I almost transferred to the Johnson Wales in Miami to run track because that was a part of my life that was missing because the one in Charlotte didn't have any sports, or at that time it was just intramural sports. So I was debating, but then I was like, oh, supposed to finish college in 4 years, or that was my thought process, right? Like finish, don't leave. You want to graduate with your friends. So I was like, okay. So I decided to finish my senior year in Charlotte. And then as it was coming up, I was like, okay, what am I gonna do? I interned at Johnson and Wales, so I helped Mr. Steven. I can't remember his last name. Bird, yes. Helped him, did the research and stuff for the conference that Johnson and Wales in Charlotte is now in, the NAIA. But that was my internship, so I really didn't do anything outside of that to really propel me into a career. So prior to graduating, I remember in high school as a student athlete, I was also a student athletic trainer. So I worked with the basketball team and the football team doing stuff. And I remember my teacher, Mr. Pringle, saying, "You can make a lot of money doing massage." So that always stuck in the back of my head. So literally, I went and got the information from massage school. We graduated on that Saturday, or I graduated on that Saturday, and that Tuesday, I started massage therapy school. Literally. So yeah, I was like, okay, this is
I
next.
mean, well, I mean, it's awesome to have a next plan because first of all, you graduated probably in like well, the height of the
Right,
recession,
right,
right? So we were all in school hoping to, get land big quality jobs, and we get out and they're like, there's nowhere for
right,
you to go. I think I left school. I left school. I think I might have worked at Bojangles Coliseum for a little bit, and then I went to go like live with my uncle for 8 months until I decided to go to grad school. Like there was
right,
nothing when we got out of school. So for you to immediately have a degree in one thing and completely switch, just shows to the mental strength and capacity that we have to have in our youth to figure something else out because sometimes going back home was not the answer for
right.
everybody. Um, Okay, so we got track, we got the fact. I just want to make everybody know I tortured Megan in
Okay.
college. I think she was like, were you like a RA too or something like that? Like you was at the front desk in my one dorm, and then like I was part of the sports teams as
Yeah. So
well.
not a RA, but I did just work the front desk. That was a cool little job. Yeah.
Yeah, I was annoying her in that lobby constantly. I don't apologize for that. It was a great
Good
time.
times for sure.
Okay, so all right, so we got the massage therapy. Okay, so as I'm a PE
Mhm.
teacher as well, I'm just not
Mhm.
teaching right now. We get through
Mhm.
massage school. We get that going. How did you end up in the gym?
So finished massage school with 6 months, and I was like, okay, now what? I always felt like I would do something, I would accomplish it, and it's like, okay, I get bored very easily. So now what am I gonna do? So again, still didn't have anything in Charlotte. I think maybe I was working at a not a nursing home, but was a living assisted living or something like that for older people, but that had money. So I was a server, so I would work a split schedule. And I started working in mental health. So I was working in mental health, and I was just like, this isn't it. I'm not fulfilled. So I decided to move back home to Durham, and I had reached out to a friend of mine who I knew was a massage therapist, and she was working at Massage Envy, and she was like, "Oh yeah, like I'll tell the manager about you." So I passed my licensure exam for massage therapy school, and I moved back to Durham, and I started working at Massage Envy, and so I was doing that, and again, I was like, now what? Like I've done this, it's not doing what it needed to do. So then I worked at Blue Cross Blue Shield for I don't even think it was a year. I went through a temp agency. I was doing that, and then I was like, I have to go. This is not it. Like immediately, I have to leave. So then, dramatic story. So then I was like, I'm gonna set up my own thing because even when in massage school, I was like, I would never work in a massage envy. I'm not gonna do this, not do that. Ate my words. But once I was at Blue Cross Blue Shield, I was like, this isn't it. I was getting paid weekly, so the money was good, but it was just like I wasn't fulfilled. I was literally doing work that my daughter at that time, she may have been 5, could do, literally. And so I was just like, okay, well, I'm gonna open up my own massage therapy business. So I did that. And I worked and I did that. And then I decided to have this bright idea like, I wanna go back to school. I wanna be a physical therapist. And so I enrolled in school at Durham Tech, and I was taking my classes. And then I just kind of was like, all right, it was time for me to take the GRE, and that scared me. I was just like, wasted, I utilized all this money, and
There we go. Good job. I like
and
that.
I am not doing what I set out to do. And I was scared, so I was just like, okay. So I was in school being a mother, doing the track coach thing on the side for the summer. Um, and then I was like, okay, I need to go back to something stable. Massage Envy was stable. I knew I could control how much money I was bringing in, how much money, that I could make. And with being an entrepreneur, owning my own business, I didn't have that as of yet, and I didn't know how to scale my business or anything. So I was literally doing Groupon and Living Social because they were like the thing at the moment, and I was basically killing myself. So I
Mm.
went back to work at Massage Envy. I was still taking classes here and there, but I kind of put the pursuing my DPT license on hold, or degree on hold, or trying to get there into school on hold. And I was working back at Massage Envy. It was, decent money, but I was like, I'm bored. Like, I want to do something different because literally it's every day. Go in, tell, what are you looking to get out of today's massage? Do a massage. I would do like 4 or 5 in a day, and then I would go home and go about whatever else I had to do for the day, which was picking up my daughter and then going to track practice. And I was just wasn't fulfilled anymore. Um, so I knew. So I was Michaela at this time probably had reached high school, and she was running track. So I was able to do my schedule where I would be able to pick her up from school and take her to track practice. And I would literally just sit there. Like I was like a hovering mother. I would take her to practice because I wasn't coaching because it was high school. And I would just stay there. And then I was just always around. So then people started to get to know me, like the different coaches and stuff. And someone had jokingly mentioned, like, oh, yeah, you should apply. And I was just like, I do not want to work with kids. Like, no. So time went on, and then just so happened that one of the teachers was leaving, and I was informed, and my friend was like, "You should apply," and I was like, "All right, but if I do it, like, I need to know that I'm gonna get the job. Like, I don't want to do this and say I'm leaving Massage Envy, and it's nothing guaranteed." She was like, "Apply, apply, apply." So I applied, and I got the job, and literally, I was kind of thrown into the fire. I went in to view the class that I was going to be taking over on a Friday, and then I started Monday, and I was just kind of like, all right. And I've been there ever since. This is like, I guess, quote unquote, my third year teaching. So I started at the height of COVID. I started that February, and then in March, we were shut down. So I guess my first
Very
year
interesting.
was easy, yes, easy and interesting. I was in person for 1 month, and then we went virtual, and then all of last year I taught virtual, and so I was kind of used to that. And then this year we went back in person, so this is my first full year in person teaching, and whew, kids, teenage kids at that, because they still think I look
Listen,
like a
I do
teenager.
some
So
I do some
no,
subbing at a middle school, and it literally, like, teachers are just like breaking their neck to be just like, okay, okay, she has a teacher's badge on, I think. But young genes, we're blessed with
right,
them,
right,
and the kids develop a
right,
different connection with you because they forget the gap, and you be like, I'm
right,
not silly. I know
right,
exactly what you're doing. Welcome to
right.
education. I'll say that because yes, you came in
Thank
at a
you.
time that I don't know if I could have done that in my transition. So I definitely fell into education
Hmm.
myself as well, and I fell in love with and all the concepts of education. So I know myself, I will always keep teaching in some capacity. At this point in time in my life, I'm just not in a physical building all the time with stuff that I want to share.
Right.
But that's dope. That's dope. For everything that you come to. How are you feeling in the scale of fulfillment wise?
I think I'm still at that place, like, oh, okay, I've done this, like, now what type of thing, um, honestly. And I don't think that it necessarily is the job. I think that I am just built to
Mm-hmm.
be an entrepreneur, honestly. Like, I like the fact I want to have staff meetings with myself. I want to be able to take a 3 hour lunch if I want to, and not have to tell kids, like, where you going, what
Can
you
I use the
doing,
bathroom?
like, uh, right, like none of that. I want to enjoy my time, and I kind of just want to do what I want to do when I want to do it. So, and I just came to realize that
I'm
probably
gonna
in the
say,
last couple of months.
but
The last
story of
couple
my
of
life
months.
though. But like I know each and everything that you've done is going to continue to set you up to be the bomb entrepreneur that you already are. I want to hear about this clothing line because I think you caught me off guard a bit with it a couple months ago, and I was like, "What's up with that?"
So I think I forgot to mention in the intro that I am also like a personal trainer or fitness trainer. And so with being with that in the height of COVID, like of course, as many people, I was spending money and I was buying athleisure. And so I was like, I had bought a couple of outfits from someone that I followed on Instagram, and I was just looking at the stuff when I received it, and I was like, I can literally do this. Like all she did was put her logo on it. She bought the outfits and she put her logo on it, and I was like, I can do that myself. And so then that's my wheels started turning, and I was just like, let's do it. So me and my daughter decided to start My Muscles Fit, and so currently we are kind of like on a standstill because it was an athleisure, woman only athleisure line. And then I had a couple of fellas in my ear saying, "Oh, you forgot about us. Like, what's that about?" Um, and then I think with the height of, I think anybody who works out now wants to start an athleisure line, which kudos to them, right? So it's kind of deterred me, and I think I want to go in a different direction. But yeah, that's how that came about. Just working out. I used to wear tights and sports bras all the time anyway. So like, instead of giving my money to Nike because I was doing that a lot, I was like, let me wear my own stuff. So
And
yeah.
that's amazing. So I think that a lot of times once we do, once we get older, we realize some of the processes and procedures of creating and making things. We're just like, I'm sorry, is this a
Hmm.
wholesale shirt that they just did that happen? And then we realize the value of branding, right? And we realize that we've
Right.
paid that much money for Nike because it's Nike, and not that we can wear our
Right.
clothes for cheaper, if you will, for lack of a better term, but if with
Right.
all the things that you do, wearing your own brand and getting people's attention, that helps you market yourself and all the things that you do.
Right.
So shout out to the pivot that you're going to make. And what I'm really enjoying about our conversation is that you're in the midst of all of this and you haven't
Yeah.
solidified anything, but you have started many things, meaning that you can get the concept, you can
Hmm.
have an idea, you can get inspired by something, do the research and put action to it, because the same conversation could have been had with us to be like, I'm thinking about doing this, I'm thinking about doing that, or it could have been like, what if I did this, or what if I did that. And
Hmm.
those are the conversations that I have
Right.
tried myself to limit, because I want to know. You can tell me. You've been telling me about how it went when you did these things. And so I commend you on everything that you're doing. And then when you find, not necessarily, it doesn't have to be that one thing that works, but when you find that system that you enjoy, it's going to continue to take off. So shout out to you.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. As we transition, I would like to know if you can give us an example of maybe a challenge or fear that you've overcome to get to the point that you are today.
A challenge or fear. Um, I want to say actually being a teen mom, right? So I had all these dreams and aspirations of what I wanted to do. I just knew I was going to the Olympics 2016. Um, but life didn't plan out that way, right? And I just feel the older I got after graduating college, it did become hard because I did move back in with my parents. And I think I went through a state of my mom or dad would think would be depression. I never said that. I was never diagnosed, but I was in a very unhappy place because the thing I was off in college, I was staying on my own, um, or I was staying with my brother, but still on my own, not with my parents, right? Um, and I was just living life, but I also didn't have my daughter there with me. So moving back home, being under the roof with my parents, it just kind of put me in a place of, all right, what do you want? Um, and figuring that out I just decided to do the different things. Like, okay, you need stability because you do have a child, but what habits do I have to change? So a challenge for me actually was my spending habits because I was staying at home. Like, oh, I want this. I want to buy this. So I would buy it because I didn't have to pay no rent. Thank you, mom and dad. But with that being said, like it just propelled me to be able to say, okay, look, this is what you want. This is what you have to do. And let me tell you, it took many, many years. I won't say how many, but it took many years for me to even get to that point. To like, okay, this is what you want to do it. Stop saying what if, um, or or I can do that. Like really step out on faith and do it. And I think one of my challenges is actually getting out of my own way and getting out of my own head because I would be so stuck in, I want things to be perfect. I don't think of myself as a perfectionist, but then again, I look at myself and like, okay, I don't want to do something if it's not done the way that I want it to be done. And I think that's something that held me back for a long time, even with the whole trying to get into DPT school because I was afraid of the GRE, right? So I allowed my own thoughts deter me for something that kind of is still lingering in the back of my mind.
I was listen. I The GRE had me shook a little bit too. I still didn't take it. I just went to a school that didn't need it. But one of
Right.
the things that I'm going to say, like, okay, because I have the same situation. A lot of us do when it comes to the labeling of perfectionism. I don't think it's perfectionism per se. I think, and I don't know if it's a word, but if it isn't, it is now. It's comparisоnism, right? Because we have
Mm-hmm.
these devices here and we can say, oh, well, I want to, I want to share my little message. I want to give my little tips. And then you go when you see somebody else who's giving you like, oh man, it's
Mm-hmm.
all glitz and glamour and it's sparklers and I can smell fragrances out of my phone. And you're just like, I can't do that. It's like nobody asked you to do that. Like, when it comes to the information that you share and the following that you build and develop, they want you, however you give it to them. Like I
Oh.
can share my message to the people who rock with me on this little piece of paper with no subtext or titles, and I can just read that joint live. All right, I need a computer, M50 camera,
Mm-hmm.
lights, Rode mic, capture card, and HDMI. All right, I'll holler at y'all. And they'd be like, bet, that's exactly what I wanted from Abby. But because we're always
Right.
comparing and scrolling, we never do what we're supposed to do because we always trying to be like somebody else, or we always trying to learn something else to implement. So that kind of holds us back a little bit. So I feel you on that. I feel you on that. Now, Megan, I want to thank you for the time that you spent with me thus far and
Mm-hmm.
sharing your story with us. What I want to do now, I want to go ahead and get those tips from you. We spoke a little bit earlier, and I said I love speaking with people who are in the process of doing things. So I want to give you the
Mm-hmm.
opportunity just to share some tips with people who might be on your same path, who might be on that crossroad to be like, I do have another itch that I like to scratch, or how am I balancing my time, or getting those what ifs and those excuses like, oh, I was a teen mom, or I don't have any money. Like, what tips can you share with those individuals who just need the little kick in the butt? You're a personal trainer. Get them together.
I would say it's always easier said than done, right? But no, literally, like, put your mind to it. If you put your mind to it, like, just execute. Cut out all the noise and distractions, right? If it's something that you want to go after, if that's something that's personally inside of you, like it's not going to stop bothering you. So just go for it, whatever it may be, and take little if it's necessary to take little steps at a time. Do that as long as you're stepping towards that's something that you want to do or that itch you're trying to scratch, right? Um, don't allow yourself to deter you. Don't let outside voices deter you because if you listen to those people, they will keep you in that same place, that same box. Even your own mind will keep you in that same place and same box. So you have to elevate, think outside of that box, and know that you can accomplish anything that you actually do set your mind to, right? Because they say what we think about most is what transpires. So you have to actually change your mind. I personally like to listen to a lot of motivational podcasts. I like listening to E.T., the hip hop preacher. So that motivates me a lot because I listen to their podcast on a weekly basis, right? And that helps me get out of my ruts that I may be in from time to time to realize they kind of tell me, get it together, do what you need to do, surround yourself with the right people, right? Um, to accomplish the goals that you're trying to accomplish.
That's dope. And yeah, shout out to that. Like I have been literally like binge consuming different content when it comes to motivation and application. And so another one I want to add on to your list and to the listeners list is ET is amazing. Also, when it comes to content and branding, there's another one called Nikki and Moose. Um, and
Mm-hmm.
I've been like, once I found that, I don't even know how I ran across it, but I was like, when it comes to branding, so I've been heavy on Nikki and Moo. Shout out to them, and the platform that they have built. So thank you so much. So what I will say also in with that is that we're all on a journey.
Right.
You don't arrive anywhere in this life. You're always going to aspire to do something differently. And even if you feel like you have arrived in your place, it is our responsibility to turn around and help other people get to that same space and location.
Right.
So if you are at the end of your rope and you feel like you've got your final trophy, now turn around and help somebody else, because then you'll find those different areas to where you can enrich yourself, you can grow yourself personally, and then also receive the fulfillment of the assurance that you're giving people not necessarily shortcuts, but you're giving them the gems that they need to stay
Mm-hmm.
encouraged, to stay engaged, to keep hope alive. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Mm-hmm.
Megan, please go ahead. I want you to drop everything that you can for all of the places and spaces that you live on the interwebs on how people can connect with you. Like, first of all, shout out to massage therapists. I love you all. I love all of you. I have one. Her name is Sally. I wish I had enough money to see her every single week, but she gets me straight every time I see her. So, first of all, yes and yes. Um, but whether they want personal training, if they want a massage, if they want a track coach, if they want, when you come back out with your clothing line, how can they get in contact with you, follow you, support, purchase? You know what I'm
Right.
saying? How
Yes,
can they do
yes.
that?
So I have many, many handles, right? So my personal page is just Megs, and that's just Megs with four Z's, right? JUSTMEGZZZZ, right? My massage therapy business is at My Muscles Matter, and that is on Facebook and Instagram. My TikTok is just Megs, as I stated before. And my clothing line is My Muscles Fit on Instagram and Facebook.
There we go. And I'm gonna have all that pop up on the screen right then and there, and I'll have it in the show notes as well. Y'all, please go ahead and support Megan. Give her a shout out, give her a like and comment, because she's doing some amazing things, and you all gonna see the progress and the growth. So shout out to you on being with the kids at the moment, getting them together.
Yes,
Shout out to all
yes.
the teachers. I always like people like, ain't you a teacher too? I'm like, yeah, but in a different capacity. I'm teaching from afar, so
All
I'm just
right.
like, salute to everybody who's in the trenches. We thank you. We
Right.
thank you. Anywho, but no, thank you so much once again for spending some time with me. I just reached out on a woman. She was like, yeah, let's get it.
Yeah,
So,
of course.
everybody, thank you once again for listening to this episode. Don't forget that, whatever, I want you all to address the itches, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, well, especially if it's something that you need to get handled. But anyway, address those things that you're interested in. Let's change it to that. Write down your interest, right? And then, go and figure out why you're interested in. Like, do a little journaling, a little self-discovery on why something or some things pique your interest, and then take a look and to see how you can get that accomplished, get it done. YouTube University's out there. There's courses out there. There's, free opportunities out there. Like, go to the library, read a book. You know what I'm saying? That there's different things. Don't just sit and let these interests sit idly, because there's nothing like waking up being like, man, I missed my opportunity.
Right.
We have an opportunity today. Let's take advantage of it.
Thank you so much,
But
Abby.
oh no, you. All right. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Modern Day Unicorns. Don't forget that you can follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Facebook is struggling right now, but Instagram is there. If you are a unicorn or you know somebody else that's unicorn, I love to have a conversation with them. So be sure to hit me a DM or comment below. And until next time, we will see you.
Bye.